I'll throw something into the Telegram chat. Oh,
Before we were so rudely interrupted by
I
a
right.
PC who couldn't understand how to process. Bum.
Bump, bump.
Okay. So, as we were saying, Trump the Rusical is underway. Roles have been assigned. Some people are kind of pissy about their roles.
Parts have been learned. Lines have been brought up.
Correct. And then we get to move to the actual rehearsal. And Plastique, as I was saying, looks like a sex doll because that apparently is one of the looks this season that all the queens are serving because they all keep getting shocked in this case. Uh, and then we end up with one of the interesting to me surprises of the season because, of course, there's going to be choreo. So we're expecting Miss Todrick Hall to be there. Correction, we get someone we have not had to date.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I don't know this bitch.
Oh, you know this bitch. You've probably seen videos of this bitch before. So Giannis Marshall is a choreographer, dance performer. He was on like America's Got Talent with a couple of guys, and they did their dance number, but they did it in heels,
Hmm.
and that was sort of the big thing. Like they were the guys wearing heels, and they did this really awesome, fun dance number together. I think to Britney music, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, or Beyonce, one or the other.
Right.
So they did, and he's been around for a while. You know, he was did that. And he's kind of become famous, been doing all this stuff, and but he's known for the whole like heel choreography, but he's a dude kind of thing, which
Right.
whatever.
Well, he's a gay dude because she is one of the sassiest people that has ever been on, and I was quite pleased with her clap back to
Oh,
the
you have no
queens.
idea. She was not having it. And not only that, like the thing that got me was like, so tell me you have experience, you have dance experience. And I was like, ooh, here we go.
Uh huh.
Ooh, here we
You
go.
know it comes
And
every season.
oh, I've done some dance and da 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 da. What? I know how to dance and I'm a choreographer and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
Raja.
Who
You
we
you
later discover actually did it 15 years ago. So when she rattled off like 9 types of dance, it was like, girl, why did you bring it up? It's been a decade and a half.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. So there's the thing. Miss Silky Ganache cracking my ass up in this. She was like, so is that on one? And Giannis is like, no, there's no one. It just goes with the words. And Silky claps back to the choreographer. Could you at least give me a one? And I was like, no, she did not.
Oh no, she better don't.
Yeah. I also will say that there was a bunch of stuff in the choreography that made it to film for the practice segment that was not in the actual performance.
Yeah.
And that kind of bothered me because I was expecting to see Ariel doing this whole routine and fucking it up. Didn't have to do it. I was
Uh-huh.
expecting Silky to do stuff and fucking it up. She didn't have to do it, from what I recall. Like, there was just, I was like,
There was a
so,
lot of weirdness in regards to like I think maybe the producers were like, Giannis. Um, we can't have these girls looking awful. Like what we're about to do is going to be really fun and funny and politically,
right.
whatever. So like, can you please not make the girls look like a fool? Thank you. And then he was like, okay, we're gonna tone it down. Like it was at a 10. I'm gonna take it to like a 5. And here you go.
Shady.
Left, right, left, right, left, right. There you go. You
And
got
grapevine.
it.
Anyways, so we end up with the actual musical. It's very orange because that's our theme color of the week, kittens. Uh, so here's all the ladies like from the beginning of the number. I honestly think Brooklyn pulled out the look. Plastique scarily pulled out the look. I mean,
She ain't no Aquaria though.
no, she's not. But I was not a fan of the way Evie made herself into Kellyanne. I was like, okay, I get it. Like, she's leathery and blah, blah, blah. But the bitch is white, not brown. So,
It
like,
was very odd, which I guess goes for her character. It
yes.
just it didn't quite
Yeah.
match well. It just looked really weird.
Yeah. She kind of looked like a half melted Muppet. It was odd. Like, odd, not oddly. Just saying. Um, yeah. So, but this is like one of those shots. I love this. Omarosa, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, like Melania. Like, I just love this shot. I was like, wow, everybody is like mugging all over the place, even Ariel as Shandy. They ran this number at least 2 times. Why do I know this, kittens? Because in this shot, Miss Ariel has this sweater that happens to be tied around herself. And they kept flipping back and forth in the edit, and it pissed me off because there was an inconsistency. So fire the directors and the producer and the stagehands for not
Uh-oh.
catching that Ariel kept undoing, like, literally on stage. She would have been doing this the whole number: tied, untied, tied, untied, tied, untied. No, girl, you did it once tied, whole set. Did it a second time, all with the sweater untied, and nobody seemed to have caught it. But when you watch it, because when I went back and did the images, it pissed me off because I was like, wait, why did her sweater suddenly change?
Uh-oh.
Oh, because it didn't really suddenly change.
Uh-oh.
See, sweater
Oh.
undone. You'll probably catch it in some of these images, but yeah. So it was one of those things. And then the pants part of the pantsuit brigade comes out. So we've got Hillary Clinton, who doesn't look anything like Hillary Clinton, in my opinion.
That big ass hair.
Right, it's the hair that threw me off. I was like, Hillary's hair has never been that big. Not even in the 80s. Like, no, girl. No. And God bless Vanessa for trying to be Rosie O'Donnell. That was a no.
I have something to say about that, and I'm going to say them at the end.
Okay.
Several things.
Yeah, so I thought this is an interesting juxtaposition where the liberal ladies are up front doing their trio number, and then the other squad of 4 are off to the side. Like, I love how Nina's hamming it up and talking to Kellyanne Conway and stuff. I was just like, girl, just can't help it. Speaking of Nina, this moment was so brief of the whole musical, and I would have given her a award for it. I thought she was doing so great delivering this crazy kind of like Tanya Tucker like moment, that she was belting out this sort of twangy country like lyric line for a moment. Yeah, I was living for that. And then lo and behold, Oprah. Oprah. She appears. I have to give it to Silky. She looks like fucking fat Oprah, like the biggest Oprah you ever seen. But she looks like Harpo, Miss Oprah Winfrey herself. I was shocked when she walked out at this moment. I was like, "Damn, girl!" Like,
she did a good job. Like it worked.
She did.
She picked some great makeup. She picked some great things. She did a really good job with it. Although she's still Silky.
Right.
Kind of.
Yes. Not sure about the shoes, but that's a whole other issue. And then this cracked me up about how the women were all like wearing these crazy like little, I don't know, silver hats and the choir
It's
gowns.
an homage to the teen angel from Greece, where they were, because remember she was beauty school dropout, so they were like wearing like curlers and stuff.
Okay.
Although they couldn't really do that because they literally had to take them off like 2 minutes later.
Right. Agreed. Scarlet Envy as Betsy DeVos. This cracked me up to no end. I loved the lines being performed, and Scarlet, I thought like she nailed it. She was good for me in this case. Bigger group number of everybody all together on the stage in this case, and then we get the quote unquote man of the musical appearing, and here's the big reveal with Shandy as the Olivia Newton-John done over number. For as much as Ariel had a crying, weeping confessional about how she was gonna fuck it up and get like she was the next to go and screw it up, and the moment that happened, I was like, no, she ain't. No, she ain't. Like that's not how reality TV works. You busy boohooing on TV before you're supposed to leave means you're not leaving. Like it's just you're really stressed out. But I thought she really, delivered. Iconically, in this imagery, she definitely looked like, the Sandy character from
Yeah.
towards the end of the movie when all of a sudden she's the badass and appears. She does not know how to flick a cigarette and put it out on the floor, though. That to me was funny as shit. I was like, really, girl? There's a couple of smokers in the cast. Nobody bothered to step forward and help her with this.
Yeah.
But. And then this is the surprise cameo gag of the season for me. I did not see this coming. And I'm sort of surprised they put the CG effect with her name on the screen because I thought they were going to leave it a mystery because they did with the character when Trump quote unquote walks on, but then here they reveal in the closer up this is actually Ginger Minge in
Oh,
Drag King, like
it. I. Oh my God! When the person comes out, like they show him in the beginning, obviously
in
of the
silhouette.
musical,
Yeah.
like with silhouette and whatever, and then like he comes out later. I'm like, I think I know who that is, but I don't think I know who that is. And I kept thinking, looking at it, and then I went, is that Ginger? And then sure enough, bring, here comes the thing, and I'm like, no way! It's perfect.
But it calls
It's so
back to the episode 1 when Rue said that the Rue girls were going to be popping in and out like all
yep,
the time around there. So
yep.
makes perfect sense. Yeah. So that cracked me up to no end. God bless you, Ginger Minge, for like pulling that out for the show. And then we get to the end of the whole show. Everybody's like suddenly women empowered, and they're all like going to say screw this, and it's going to be very, doing it for ourselves as sisters kind of thing. So yeah,
Power to the pussy.
Trump, the Rusical. Damon, over your thoughts.
So I said there were standouts and well, not. So
Mm-hmm.
Oprah was great. Betsy DeVos was actually really good. I like um, Scarlett's take on that. There were some just like weird choices that were not quite there, and unfortunately, Mercedes was one of them. Like, I don't know where she was going with it. Obviously, she doesn't know who this person is. We find that out during confessionals that she doesn't know anything about anything, apparently. Whatever. Anyway, sorry. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
having this whole like don't know things. And she was like, I wish I had done some research. I mean, you could have just like turned on a TV. But anyway, having said that, uh, I was not biggest fan of like Rosie, but I was also not a big fan of the part itself. And I will say I will get to that
Right.
later. But there are a few standouts. There are definitely like Nina is Sarah Huckabee Sanders or whatever her name is, yippity doo dah day, whatever. Um, but her, just in those little moments that she had, she was able to grab me, and that's what I want. Like in a
Right.
show like this, where there's going to be very few moments where you're going to have to shine,
Right.
you need to shine bright.
And that's what I thought when Silky started throwing a hissy fit about
Yeah,
like playing the expected role to be Oprah. And I was like, shut your fucking hole, bitch. Like,
yeah,
you will have apparently a short moment and you're probably going to eat the scenery alive. So just shut up about it.
yeah.
It'll be
That's my
okay.
biggest thing about it all is like you're going to need this. I get that you want to have the lead role, where because it's the big one that everyone will see, but honestly, I'm just going to be frank with it. The way that they wrote this, whatever, they made it a point to kind of give some characters something to like make them shine, make them, funny,
Mm-hmm.
gave them catchphrases or whatever, which I would have liked. I would have loved it if they had like a press conference and Sarah Huckabee Sanders came out and just was like no comment and like walked off, like something, just something, you
Right.
know, fun and kitschy to kind of make it a little fun. Uh, Overall, just I think it's an okay like musical. Is it going to top the charts? Is it going to make it on Broadway? No. Is it going to make it off Broadway? No. Is it going to make it off Broadway? No. But it was fun.
Right. I said surprise cameo. Say what? I was just not ready for Ginger Minj to be Donald Trump. I, because it's a drag parody, I forgive her. But I was just like, ugh. It was funny and unexpected, so she gets all the props for it. Yeah, like I think in a weird way, I would have been perfectly fine if they'd gotten like, someone else as a male actor to come on and just play the role briefly as for a moment. Not that there's anything wrong with Ginger did, but I was not ready for it. But that's also why it stood out to me, because it was very unexpected.
Yeah.
In that case. Speaking of unexpected, you ready for the runway?
Oh, girl, let's do this. Let's take to the runway.
Category is Orange Alert.
Speaking of big fat orange things. So for those of you that don't know, apparently this theme was actually supposed to be used in season 10, but they held off or did away with it or last minute change, and then they brought it back in season 11. So I find that very interesting.
Very curious. I would love to see if like the girls maybe brought some stuff, like we didn't see it,
right?
Like from season 10, like if maybe they brought some orange stuff, that would be fun to kind of like,
see what
figure that part out.
All right, so Orange Alert is the theme. Why is this like fucking up on me? It's pissing me off. Because of course it's not going to do what I want it to the way it's supposed to. Please hold one moment while I like get the imaging to catch up to what I'm trying to show, because now it's just going to be like super pissy with me. So all the girls have to have an orange outfit that they're bringing to the runway. Which
take it to the runway.
Right. So
there we go.
Notably, Mama Ru comes out looking like normal Mama Ru.
Thank God.
It's a Zaldi gown. This reminds me very much of the season when the promo was the Grecian goddess look, where everything was like flowy and and of course it's one shoulder, big blonde hair, so there's nothing really super surprising about this. But I think Ru looks good.
It's a classic Ru look,
right? I will say this also. So the dirt has been spilled already online. For those of you that didn't know, some of the shorter looks that Ru has been supplying in this season are actually outfits that she wore in her VH1 talk show with Michelle Visage like almost 20 years ago. Yes. So that also explains why Mama Ru was on this crazy diet last year. I say crazy, but she was just dieting. But she was very manic, like about losing weight for like the recording. Come to find out, I know why. Because the bitch was trying to fit into old shit. So I was like, all right then, I see how it is. So when you get an outfit like this means you can actually eat the croutons with the salad children and be a little bloated.
You can have 2 Tic Tacs.
So true. So true.
Splurge. It's my cheat day. Let me have a...
Listen to you, it's my cheat day. It's too much. All right, so these are probably not going to come up the way I want them to, but anyways, all of the girls are serving looks. So as my computer decides to show them instead of an alpha order. So Miss Ariel Versace, boo, not a fan. I'm just gonna call it like.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, I was like, no, like I don't like it. I just don't like it's too much of a lot of things. I'm thinking Ariel overall as an aesthetic I just will never like. So because I'm getting the similar silhouette, the similar hair, the similar face, like, and I'm just it's nothing.
I will say this much: I want Ariel to wear like something completely different. Like I want her to wear like a small hair and like a fitted like or a blousey like draped gown or something like that, to where we don't get like to see all the body, because she pads for days. I will give her that.
Right.
But like I want like like you said, a different silhouette. I want something else. Like
Right.
we've seen this look before 3 times.
Right. This is round 4, girl.
Like
Come on.
like it just the big ass hair. I really don't like her hair. Like that's my big thing.
Right.
Because look at this picture as we're looking at it right now. Look at how small her face looks in comparison to everything else on her.
Right. And I get that she's supposed to be delivering this like Bratz doll Lisa Frank fantasy, but come on. Like there's interpretations on a theme that you can do. You're not giving me that. You're just giving me the same thing. It feels like
Oh.
week after week.
Yeah.
You know. So I will say that this outfit also kind of bothered me because I was like, wait, Fringe was last week. But, well, I'm just, it's a thing. Like, she, anyways, next. Brooklyn Heights. So I will say this. A lot of people lost their minds over this. Brooklyn Heights is very much like a second cousin to Detox. The more I watch her on screen, the more I listen to the way she talks. I'm like, yeah, she and Detox are similar in attitude and their view of things. So yes, she's kind of giving us this Blade Runner, like the girl that dies at the beginning of the movie that's running in the clear raincoat thing, mashed up with Lilu Multipass from The Fifth Element. But like people kind of lost their shit about this. I have a major problem with it, and it is visible in this shot. So for those of you that are listening to audio podcasts, I apologize, but I'll try to describe it. So Brooklyn looks fat in this picture, which is not a bad thing, but I couldn't figure out for a while why this outfit kept bothering me, and I finally clocked it. Can you see how shiny she is from the waist down?
Yeah.
Because of the tights and the sheen that is bouncing off of them. And it bugs the ever-living F out of me. I'm like, really, girl? You are matte from the waist up because it's your real skin. Like skin. Like all these places I'm addressing in the visual is all skin. But from the waist down, you put these tights on. And I'm like, girl, your polyester / nylon, whatever, is reflecting the light. It's so super obvious that is fabric and not you.
Yeah. It would have been better if she had done this like as a bodysuit and could put it all, and it's all like a nude illusion kind of thing going on. I would have liked that better than what we got here.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like the look. I get what you're saying. And the fix would have been it's a bodysuit as opposed to what she's actually wearing, which while cute,
right,
you get those issues where, because obviously she's not using her real body down below from her waist down.
Right.
So we get this. Right.
And that's the part, I guess, that really bugged me the most about it is I get it. You're not a thick girl in terms of like your ass and your thighs and your legs. So you can't pull off that shape. So you have to go another route, but still. Like, it just was really annoying to me because if it hadn't been so shiny from the waist down, then I probably would have, been much more on the side of everybody going, yes, girl, and really loving Brooklyn's look. But so I don't hate it. I'm just not as excited, I think, as other people were being online. And then we have Miss Mercedes Amon Diamond. Miss Mercedes, she's a pretty girl. I'll give her that. So she knows how to paint a mug. She knows how to like pose.
Yeah.
And look around and look pretty. So yeah.
It's just very, very basic and simple. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just very simple. It's like, oh, let's find this orange and gold bodysuit or leotard, excuse me, and let's find a feathered boa to put on my head.
Right.
And done.
This goes back to what I said last week about, when you deliver something, like there is the runway at RuPaul's Drag Race, and then there is the club, like your local gig kind of girl. And this is a local girl gig. Like I've seen this time and time again from many drag queens.
And I get it where we know that these girls aren't like I was reading uh, Monet Exchange on Twitter recently posted
Mm-hmm.
something out about how like we know these girls. These are like seasoned girls. These aren't all-star girls. These are very much like this is the sometimes the best that they can get, which I understand, and I am giving her props for taking this and putting this out there. But
Right.
you gave us you put a sarong around your waist to kind of give a reveal. Like no, like if you had
Right.
had like a big ass like coat or something like that made of the like same like feathers or whatever that you the boa, and
Right.
then you took it off and you showed me this,
Right.
I might be a little gagged.
Right. Right.
Because at least then it would have been like a bigger reveal.
No.
But
Yeah.
like taking this off and like now you have like you're wearing a leotard, like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's just, it's not exciting. And I agree with you. I saw Monet Exchange's like post and I agreed completely with it on the Twitter feed when I was reading. I was like, you know what? They're right. Like some of these girls barely are able to like rub two nickels together to pay the damn light bill, let alone like pay for outfits. So they are not Rue girls yet. They have not traveled the world. They aren't making the coin yet. I get it. But if you're going to be a RuPaul's Drag Race, one of the things to expect is to bring something different to the runway, not the same thing that anybody else has. So, like, even Michelle has said, you know, if you want to wear, you know, a swimsuit, you know, a leotard, a bodysuit, at least make it look different and not super obvious to what, you know, we've seen time and time again when, you know, people are parading up and down in front of the judges.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Miss Nina West, God bless her. I immediately knew kind of what she was going for in one aspect when she came on the screen. I was like, oh, it's a saloon gal. Look at her. She,
Yeah.
on Fashion Photo Review, got booted immediately by Aquaria. She was not having it. She was like, it's
Uh-huh.
ill-fitting. It doesn't blah, blah, blah. And Raja actually tooted it. She said because she got the historical callback, like concept. In the
Yeah.
voiceover, Nina says that actually what inspired her was that it was Barbara Streisand as Hello Dolly as Dolly Levi, who was one of the most like Barbara is a liberal, Dolly Levi is a progressive for women's rights, blah blah blah. So it was this whole like kind of tying into the theme of the week with the main challenge and that kind of stuff. So I found that to be really interesting that she decided to go this route. But I do have to agree, it's okay. Like it's not.
So I've been meaning to talk, sorry, I've been sneezing.
I know.
um this looks too costumey. And I know we talked about costumes in the past and blah blah blah,
Mhm.
it's drag, whatever. But this looks almost off the rack kind of costume shop for
Right.
me.
Right.
The fact that it's not as fitted, the fact that it's not as exaggerated,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm getting it like costume.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be mean about it, and I love Nina, but this just doesn't land for me because it looks, honestly, it looks kind of cheap.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't, but it looks kind of cheap.
Yeah, it definitely looks more like she made it in the first episode challenge, like when you got to put something together, as opposed to, you know, that she. And it's not that it's a bad outfit; it's just I don't know, like it's definitely not a wow factor. It's
Yeah,
also not the worst to put her
yeah,
at the bottom.
yeah.
So I guess it's safe in that case. I also
Yep.
wasn't a fan of the mug. It's very severe. Like, and you know how I feel about this. I am not a fan of big drag jewels. I have problems with when it looks like you are wearing all of the jewels as you're crossing the ocean, like on your first time to America to live a new life. Like, I'm just like, come on, this is overboard. This is ridiculous. There is a place for a chandelier, and it belongs on the ceiling, not around your face. Is the way I look at it. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, and her eyes are real dark. Like the whole features, like it's not working for me. So
Yeah, I don't know how much time they had between like finishing the Rusical and doing this to get things together,
right,
but I feel like she was like, let me do something and maybe messed up or whatever. It just doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure. Miss Plastique Tiara serving fish, like, definitively is definitely looking very 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 much like a woman. I don't know what to say other than she's quite the looker, and this hair is amazing. These red waves, it's just, I don't know if this will work right for me to show the full image of the outfit. It's this butterfly moth kind of deal. It fits the theme. It's just not the wow factor, I guess.
Yeah, I think when in the fashion photo review, they kind of said it was very much something to, it was different. Whereas with one queen, we got one look, very much like a leotard kind of thing. We got a very different look here. Ooh.
Yeah, I've got more images, but they're not popping up and it's pissing me off. So, anyways, so it's okay. It's all right. Of course, now it's going to skip completely over Raja. What the fuck? All right. So, Scarlet Envy in this case, yet again with the claws, like, and I say yet again because I remember distinctly them before. So, I'm not sure if she used them in a different challenge and she brought them back, or maybe they made such a visual and untucked, and that's what I'm remembering. So this was okay. Like, I mean, the hair's up swept out of her face. It looks decent. The makeup's all right. Like, but I have a distinct issue, and it is this right here, children. She made this dress and the shoes with the fabric to match. Here's my issue. Please note the bottom of the dress. So there's a Krenlin hoop skirt type deal, and apparently it's bigger than the dress. Or just as big as the dress.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I imagine Jim probably would have clocked it and had a hissy fit. Like, here's the thing when it comes to costumes, kids, or any outfit for that matter. Your shit needs to fit. Yep. So if you're going to make a dress and you're going to have an underlay of any sort, I should not be seeing what's under. That's the whole reason why it's under. So it bugged the hell out of me the first moment they show her in full length from the far end of the runway. I was like, what's all that white shit on the bottom? I was like, is that a trim? Is that fringe? And then I realized that it's just the way the dress is laying. It's not long enough to reach beyond easily.
She should have put another layer of something at the bottom, some bows, something to kind of just cheat it just a little bit. If she had done like a simple, like, ruffle at the bottom, we wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah. And the thing is in another shot when she's walking back down the runway, you don't really see it at all. So it really bothered me. I was like, yeah, this is a faux pas kind of thing. Like, the underskirting should not have been as big as it is, or the dress itself should have been just a little bit longer. And I get that maybe you don't want the fabric to hang straight down too much, but there's ways to get around that. Like, there's things that you can do.
Yeah, you can do. You can figure it out.
Yeah, I was just not a fan of that in that case. And then we get the real surprise of the runway, in my opinion, Miss Sugarcane. I was not ready for this. I thought it was crazy, like tie-in thematic, which makes me think they all knew as a package deal what was coming together, like that there was a Trump element and that there was an orange alert runway and that they were going to be the same week. So Sugarcane was definitely prepared for this.
Yes.
Like,
it was a risk.
Mm-hmm.
It was a risk. I'm on the fence about it. Like, when she came out and I was like, like, okay, there you go. Doing something completely out the box. Reminded me of like a Milk kind of moment. Like when she did she came out as RuPaul Charles and not RuPaul. Like, it's one of those things where, like, okay, like, if you're going to go there, you need to go there, and she's close, but not quite.
I mean, she didn't deliver it at 100. I'd say she delivered it like an 85. Like, I don't have problems with it, but it's just not pushing beyond. So she has a little bag of like, Cheetos or Doritos or something.
She does.
And she does at one point, like she's eating them and then she kind of smears them on her face. And then at one point she takes the sandwich baggie and kind of smashes it up and then rubs it around on her face like rouge. So like, she's definitely delivering to that. The part I was not necessarily prepared for was the whole pussy grabbing thing that they like made sure to insert in the edit. I was like, oh, okay. Like,
Again.
right. The only real criticism I have about this is sugar. If you're going to be orange in your face and a little orange on the back of your hands, make your feet match, bitch. These queens. It's like they don't think through their stuff. If you're going to be one color, be consistently that one color everywhere. Unless you're going to ombre yourself from the roots of your hair to the tips of your toes. Come on. Get it together. Just annoyance. Silky Nutmeg Ganache. As I described her before we went live, I think of this as orange sherbet with maraschino cherries throughout it. That's what it made me think of when she walked out.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. I can't really clock much wrong with it. I will say I was annoyed more than anything with the judges apparently critiquing that she was going 2 miles per hour or a mile per hour when walking in it. And I was like, hello, are you looking at the gown? This is not a gown you run in. You just can't.
She was walking very slow, and I will own that I thought maybe it was too heavy or weird fitting or maybe too tight. There's a part of me that wondered it was one of those things because looking at it, it looks very nice. And but if it's beaded and stoned and all that shit, then it's probably heavy as fuck. So she's probably walking slow because she can't move any fast. She can't move that far in it.
Yeah.
This is big, like pageant, like realness dress. This is definitely like a like stoned to the gods, like yes, mama, like pageant realness dress.
And she again had great face, good hair. Like, I mean, there wasn't really anything about this to clock that was problematic in my opinion. The gown doesn't quite hang at the floor or drape on the floor the way you want it to, but the problem is she's always moving.
Yeah.
This is a gown that looks better for like a photo shoot, like where you stand still and you can kind of foot the fabric and like splay it out and drape a certain way. But because she's constantly in motion, like it just always is going to kind of drag or, something along those lines. Vanessa Vanjie Mateo comes on stage delivering us showgirl realness. Notably, it's not red, but that's because the challenge was orange. Just for the record. I don't know. There's something about this headdress that really bothers me. And I don't know if I still feel this way now, but when I first saw it, I was like, why are you so disproportioned?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, like, as I'm looking at it now, there are some feathers that are like
wonky,
her left that feel like they're off. Like maybe they needed to be fluffed up or they're falling or something along those lines. And it feels like it's crooked.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But I like this somewhat. It's a very simple, familiar silhouette.
Yeah.
Corseted middle, panty. She did something different, like she put on the pasties and whatever and had the fringy, feathery gloves. Oh no, that was the jewelry. Like she had this very intricate looking jewelry set that I thought was beautiful.
Yeah,
and
and I have to agree with you. Like that panty with the jewel thing, like it really caught my eye and was different.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like the hair is pretty, but the orange stripe in it, I was like, that's is that Manila's thing? Kind of. But I don't know.
I think it's very different. Not different necessarily for her, but it was different than what other people were doing on the runway. And I think this was the showgirl look done right.
Okay. As opposed to some queens who have never gotten it right.
Yeah.
In that case, Evie oddly lives up to her name. Comes out with this partially eaten orange sculpted hair hat thing,
Uh-huh.
clown makeup, bows, and this really interesting circus tent top dress bottom
Yeah.
with striped tights. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's a lot going on. It's a lot of various elements, but I don't dislike it. Like, I
Yeah.
was just like, okay.
I think honestly, and this is just me, like, if instead of the orange, like the literal orange on her head, if she had done like a clown hat or um like a short, like very short wig, like kind of in that same style, but it just was a wig
Mm-hmm.
with the clown hat. That way it kind of pulls together. But when you put like the orange on top, but then the rest of it looks clown, it doesn't, it's disjointed. Just a smidge. I love it. I love this look, but the orange, I get that it's literally orange,
Right.
but other than that, it doesn't really go with everything else.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was like, I don't dislike it, but I'm also not a raving fan about it. What I would give her points for, if I was actually judging this in a pageant, I would give her points for originality. Like, she gets all the points because it is like nothing else that we've seen. It
True.
is not a bodysuit. It is not a leotard. It is not a swimsuit. It is not a two-piece. It is not, boots the house down with feathers. I mean, or dripping jewels. Like, it's just so
Yeah.
many things it is not in this case.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, of course, all the lovely gals, side by side.
And yes, there are a few that we didn't get to see. Like we did get to see Akira's hair,
Yeah.
like little Kim looking like.
I'm going to see
I
if I can bring it back up in a moment. But this cracks me up because, like, 12 girls, 11 orange, 1 blue. Just because Sugar was, standing out in her own thing. So,
there it is.
yes. So Tiffany Pollard, aka New York in a house, lost her ever living mind over this look. And
Yes.
I don't have to disagree. Like, I was really surprised by this when Akira came out and I was like, holy. That's a look, and that's a very well put together look.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Like
nude
everyone.
illusion. It's like crazy Lady Godiva orange sherbet hair. It's jewels. It's titties. It's ass. It's legs. It's everything.
I like loved this look. I love that she was giving us body, yaddy,
Mm-hmm.
without like. I'm assuming she didn't do much tucking. I mean, not tucking, but like cinching and whatever, because it looks like her body,
Mm-hmm.
with the exception of maybe the breastplate. But go for her. Like it worked really well. She found. They were talking on Fashion Photo Review. Like, by the way, we watch all the other things too sometimes. And this, they loved it because it didn't like the orange hair doesn't look like a costume hair. It doesn't look like, it looks like a real like hair.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she has so much of it, they were like, where did she get that? Where did she get those bundles from? Because I'm just like, yeah, it works so really well together.
I love the fact that Aquarius said, I don't know where this bitch got this, and that's what impresses me about it. Like,
Yeah.
Aquaria apparently is a fashion fiend about knowing parts and pieces and where things come from and who made it and where you can buy it online or anything. And the fact that Aquaria was floored by this hair with this look and had no clue how she came up with it and put it together, I was like, well, all right, girl. Like, I'll give you snaps for that. Like, you puzzled the queen, who apparently is, not one to be puzzled. So, yeah. Akaria definitively really pulled a great runway in this case. And she's posing for the gods. The hair is practically to the floor. It's something else in this case. I'm looking ahead to see if I can find our other missing person that we kind of skipped over. So there's a better shot of Plastique looking like Madame Butterfly or some version. I honestly didn't dislike this. Yet again, it's this kind of there's something going on with the proportions with some of these. Like Mark pointed out, was it Mark? Yeah, that for Brooklyn, the pads, tights, and sheen all combined to make her look disproportionately heavy, he said in the live chat. And I kind of agree with it. When I was looking at the Brooklyn thing, I was like, yeah, I can see where she looks like really thicker suddenly from the waist down, as opposed to her upper body. And the same thing's kind of happening here for me with Plastique. Like, from the waist down, like, it's becoming a little too obvious that you're padded, girl. Like, I understand that you need a silhouette, but the fact that you are a thin boy, like, and you revealed your arms, like, it's the illusion is having an issue. Like, you know, like, there are not many girls that have this kind of shape. If they do, they got big old chicken waddle on their arms. Do you know what I mean? like they lost weight, but the skin doesn't necessarily go away. So yeah, that's the thing. In that case, but I mean, it's definitively orange and it's pretty, so I can't necessarily disagree.
She's pretty.
But then again, I'm getting tired of these silver white shoes with orange looks that we keep seeing on the runway.
There we go.
And there's Miss Raja O'Hara. So, yet again, chaps. I've said it before in another season, and I'm going to say it again. Do not wear chaps unless you can wear them correctly, which means they fit correctly. Raja is wearing the closest pair of chaps that don't fit yet fit in all the seasons. And it bugs the shit out of me because when you walk down the runway, girl, I should not see the fabric of the hips of the chaps like kind of kinking and flopping out like with every step. No, like it should be more form-fitting to you and hugging your body. That's kind of the concept of a chap for me in that case. So
I will give props to her, though. This is a very interesting look. I'm not a fan of the chap.
Yeah.
I think it works, kind of, like you said. It works, but it doesn't. But I like that she used the fabric to make this shoulder fascinator, whatever you want to call it, kind of thing.
And notably, you know, we've got some jewels, we've got a glitter spangled body, we've got sunglasses, we've got a short, lovely, you know, I mean, she's definitely serving us, you know, a look that is.
Oh, and she also wore one glove with the orange fabric or orange, I don't know if it was. Oh, the word just left my head.
Vinyl?
Yeah, vinyl. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Woo.
So
okay.
This is an example. If you're seeing us on YouTube, like this image right now is what I'm talking about, where the chaps don't fit correctly. So she has one leg up as she's turning and walking, and it bugs me because you can see where the part of the chaps around the thighs aren't hugging the body, and it just it's folding and creasing and bulging out. And it's like, no, girl, it's obvious to me that these chaps are too long for your body or your hips are not big enough. Like, either you're wearing the wrong pads or you borrowed these chaps. Like, there's just something that's not coming together about it for me.
Yeah.
But I'll give you props, girl, because you look good overall, and at least your shoes are orange. So there you go.
Thank God. Okay. Yeah. So I'll go into my comments on this, and it's choices.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest things was pick a goddamn shoe that works, or don't show your feet like that one. You know, you need an orange shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Orange, unfortunately, is one of those colors. The only complementary color is blue.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to do something in all mostly orange, then guess what you need to do? You need to put that all the way down.
Right.
Like, they were loving Brooklyn's silver boots, and I was just like, no. I don't get that, orange and then the silver ass boot. It does not look right. It doesn't fit.
Right.
It doesn't fit the look at all to me. Having said that, my other thing with choices is like we need to get over again this whole leotard thing. I understand that some of the girls may not have the coinage yet to do a lot of things, but do something else with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Plastique's kind of butterfly thing was a different thing to me. It worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
Raja and while the chaps are not as fitting, it worked for me because it wasn't just a leotard. Like if she
Right.
hadn't worn if she hadn't worn the chaps,
Mm-hmm.
she better have been wearing like a big ass fucking orange boot.
I would have preferred thigh high boots instead of the chaps.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of those heels with the chaps, I would have preferred that you wore some thigh high, bright, shiny, like polished, plastic boots that came all the way up and hugged your thigh that way. I think that would have been a more dynamic kind of look than the chaps thing. So interesting side fact, if you listen
Yeah.
to in the pit stop, I think it is, Manila reveals that in her season of All Stars, yeah, I think so.
Uh-huh.
Interestingly, she said that she traveled with 10 pairs. I think it was, maybe it wasn't 10 pairs. Maybe it was 3 or 4 pairs of a identical shoe and brought like 10 cans of spray paint. So she could paint her shoes to match the color as needed. So she always had a shoe to go with every outfit.
Huh.
And I thought that was an amazing tip for future queens that are going to be on the race. I was like, now that is some fucking thinking, because in the market, they still should make them to this day, because Lord knows there's no reason to not make them. There are basic, it's usually a basic white satin shoe that you can buy, and you can have it dyed to match any color.
Uh-huh.
And you can even dye them yourself. So,
I remember those.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they still make them to this day. If they don't, well, that was kind of a missed opportunity. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't make them anymore. But to me, it's like it makes perfect sense that you would, have shoes that are, going to be matched to something. And if you can't get a shoe to match, then do like what Scarlett did. Scarlett actually applied the fabric right over top of the shoes to match the dress. Like, it's not that difficult to make something.
Get a couple of yards of fabric, add a little more to kind of make a shoe, or make an overlay of a shoe.
Right, like Brooklyn could have like worn those boots and then done an overlay that matches the plastic coat.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? And that probably would have been more agreeable. Like, I don't know. And just there's something that these girls and their footwear.
Like I said, overall choices, Suga took a risk. We got a lot of some of the like staples of drag, leotard, showgirl, what have you.
Right.
We got pageant a bit, Evie has always stood out, and I love that she does. I liked her look. I liked that it was different. And I love that she didn't go the full-on orange, like just all orange look as well.
Right.
Kind of creams.
No, I agree. For me, I said not everyone's color. Not everyone looks good in orange. Not everybody can carry orange. Not everybody can wear orange. And that was kind of evident. Like,
yep.
For the most part, everyone looked pretty good, but yeah. Even Raja in Fashion Photo Review admitted that she doesn't own orange. And even Aquarius said that. It's not a color that they really have invested in their homes and stuff.
Yeah. It is definitely So for those that don't know, like as we've been talking about, orange is a very odd, bright, weird color. Mm-hmm. And it's very difficult to match things with it.
Yeah.
And it's very like obviously they knew ahead of time orange is going to be a theme for the runway. Mm-hmm. So you had to come up with something, make something, put it together, buy something. And I can't get over some of these choices that they made because it's all kind of different in some way. But orange is not going to be one of those colors that you're. I would be surprised if I saw these girls wearing these again.
Okay, so I would see Ariel, Silky, Brooklyn, Vanessa,
Maybe Akira.
and Akira wearing this shit again. Scarlett would probably pull it out and wear it, although she shouldn't. And same thing with Mercedes. Mercedes will probably wear it while she shouldn't. Raja could wear it. She just needs to fix it, I think, before she wears it. And I see Evie wearing this for Halloween. Like as a spooky number kind of thing where she does her makeup different or something. Like Killer Clowns from Outer Space or some crazy shit. I don't know. So, in the end, Silky Nutmeg Ganache is the winner of this episode. And she gets a getaway to the Grand Resort and Spa. So, yay to the big girl.
She didn't want a part to begin with.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for the girl that didn't want Oprah. Well, Oprah helped you win, bitch, so be thankful and be grateful. Better say a prayer to Oprah later.
I sense a Party City Party City reunion from next week. Like, I gave you what you wanted. I gave you to do something and you won. Like, go back to Party City where you belong, kind of thing. I can see that happening. You're welcome. You're welcome. Like,
right. Agreed. So, and then we're going to end up going into Untucked. Before we get there, though, I do want to at least recognize. Remember when I talked about the girls look like sex dolls? Here we go again. So Brooklyn Heights has shocked face when Tiffany Pollard reveals in judges' critiques that she was not happy with Vanessa's Rosie O'Donnell because apparently Tiffany Pollard doesn't want to sit on Rosie O'Donnell's face. And now the world knows. Right. But the fact that Brooklyn reacted like this just cracked me up to no end because I was like, boy, some of these girls are just serving it, like, whether or not they know it for the camera. And I was like, okay. Yes. So that's a thing. By the way, Mark says in the live chat that Nina West performed in hers recently, and it was on Instagram. So maybe it got better with time. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look it up.
Maybe.
We'll see how that is. But are you ready for our next part? All right. So let's talk real quick about Untucked.
This is not RuPaul's best friend, right?
I feel very attacked.
You're perfect. You're beautiful.
I do not want to go home.
You just want someone to fight with.
I've had it officially.
This is Untucked, backstage of the competition to become America's next drag superstar. Girl, if you're not watching Untucked, you're only getting half the story.
So, yes, let it all hang out, Hunty. I don't really have any screenshots from Untucked because I don't know if it was, I mean, it was interesting, not super exciting. Like, it was not last week. So, Damon, what did you think of Untucked? What was your takeaway?
So, I have to point this out. They mentioned it in the last episode. They mentioned it in Untucked this time. So, mine is Kai Come On. We have seen this blossoming here and there. They've mentioned it a couple of times, and now we full on see the Brandy romance with Brooklyn and Vanjie Mateo. That's Vanessa Vanjie Mateo. There's something going on, but they're not saying anything. Tiffany literally comes in later, the guest judge. She comes out, and I'm so glad they didn't bring Joel in. Let me just right away put that out. Like, that was a moment. Yeah. But so Tiffany comes in and she spilling all, like she has fun and all that. And then she talking like, has there been anything romantic going on? Because everyone that doesn't know, Tiffany Pollard was New York and she was on Flavor of Love. So the Flavor Flav reality TV show where he was looking for a girl, whatever. She was one of the most outspoken, wild ones that came from that group of people. And she even, I think, got her own Love in New York kind of spinoff. Anyway, haven't said all that. She comes in, she talks about this, she wants to know if someone's in a kai, and then we get Akira grabbing Vanjie and bringing her over because Brooklyn's already sitting on the couch and brings her over, and we get nothing. No one confirms, no one denies. We get nothing. And it's like this moment, like, bitch, we just saw, like, you, like, two, like, kissing. Like, and not, like, the only thing I want to know if the edit, was it, like, just one kiss? Like, did they, like, or was it, like, several? Because they show it, like, 20 times.
Yes.
But so it's my biggest thing is, like, but it is something that's going on. And it always brings up to me, like, okay, has this happened before? I mean, we know that they're all sequestered off in a hotel. They don't have any TV. They don't have much. They're all together, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm sure Kais have happened, maybe under the table or under the radar, but who knows? But this is the first time we have seen definitive proof that something is happening. And I am living for it. I'm ready to figure out what else is going on. Like, is this does this just happen? Did they maybe know each other before? Whatever. You know, there's a whole, like, my wheels in my head are turning, and I want to know, like, what's going on.
Yeah. It's a thing. I said different irritates the traditional. There was just, like, this kind of petty stuff going on about, like, who and what and, like, this and that, and some people are just not living for Evie. And I think they need to be careful, because it's not unprecedented in Drag Race season's history that the winner is the oddball, is the one that stands out from the crowd. And so I'm like, can anyone say Sharon Needles? Hello?
Yep.
Can anyone say Jinx Monsoon? Like,
anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
So I think Evie might be one to go all the way towards, you know, top 3 or top 4. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. Some people just seem to be, like, you know, irritated. Like,
it's very much becoming a like future drag blah 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 thing from, like, season 5, where, like we said, we talked about Sharon and everything. I could see this being where they're going to probably ask Evie to kind of do glamour.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen Evie, like, dolled up or what have you.
Right.
But I could see that not going, that really doesn't fall into her character at all. So that would be odd.
But that lives up to her name. Like, if it's Evie Oddly, then one episode out of the entire season that she gets glammed up, people would probably not be ready for that.
I would love it if, like, they did, like, we're going to do a, like, Halloween scary thing, blah, blah, blah. And everyone expects her to be, like, wild and crazy and go all out. And she does, instead, flips the script and does, like, I'm going to be the victim and be pretty and ever.
Well, maybe that comes next week, because next week's episode is called Monster Ball. And the only Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, is judge. So, and she notably says to one of the girls during judges' critiques that she can see herself wearing that outfit.
Ooh.
So maybe you are crystal ball forecasting, Damon, what's to come.
Ooh, look at me.
Yeah, that could be something that comes up. I don't know. We will see. So, Untucked happens. All the girls have to go back to the stage. Yeah. So, let's move on to the next segment.
Yeah.
2 queens stand before me. Ladies, this is your last chance to impress me and save yourself from elimination. The time has come. You're to lip sync for your Good luck. And don't fuck it up.
Ooh.
So it's untucked.
It's not untucked. It's the runway.
Or sorry, it's lip sync for
Lip
your
sync.
life. I was still stuck on untucked, but Vanessa is going through it in untucked. That's where my brain was.
Oh yeah.
That's where we get the Kai Kai moment. She gets a big support speech from Silky and makes Vanessa cry, and just Vanessa's not she's not living her best life. She very much thinks that she's in the bottom and she just doesn't want to go home. And I get that, but at the same time I'm like, well then girl, you got to be able to pull it out. Like, you flubbed it in the mini challenge. You kind of fell flat in the maxi challenge, and the runway was not crazy. It was okay. It was kind
Everything.
of traditional. So, so basically, here's the thing. Vanessa's all concerned. She's worried. She's going to go home. Yeah, she's all full up in her head. She does not go home. She is not in the bottom two. She is safe. However, Miss Raja and Miss Mercedes are the ones that are in the bottom two. And God bless Mercedes for always just putting on a smile. Because
I can't.
that's what she always does. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to have to, because I just have to feel it needs to be said. My worry is that she smiles because she has no idea what's going on. Where she's just look pretty, just smile for a minute, and smile and nod and let it go, and then you'll figure out what's going on. I mean, she probably knew she was in the bottom. She even, I think, admits it. Mm-hmm. But, I will say this much. So, well, wait. I'll wait a minute. We have the hit spoiler alert before we do any of that. Before we say anything else.
Okay. Yeah. So you have a fair point. We're in the lip sync. We've already spoiled who's in the bottom two, but we're gonna talk about what happens in the lip sync, and more importantly, in addition to that, what the song is, and then the results of the lip sync in that case. So on cue, as Mr. Damon has reminded me, in this case, we should probably put this up there for everybody. Spoiler alert, kittens.
Spoiler alert.
One of these bitches going home.
Yep.
That's not really a spoiler. But anyways. So it's Mercedes and Raja. Dun dun dun. They end up being the two that have to lip sync against their life. Yay! It's not a 6-way clusterfuck on the runway. There's something to be happy about.
True.
They end up performing Living in America by James Brown. One of the rare instances in Drag Race history that it is a male voice that they are lip syncing to. I personally didn't have a problem with this. I just was not ready for it. Yeah. It also notably ties into the theme of the week for the show. Apparently.
It was very much a good choice of song. I just wasn't, like you said, I was not expecting it. Mm-hmm. But the girls do bring it.
Yes.
Go ahead. Well,
so Raja right out the gate, she is like a Manila Luzon. She stomps the runway. She puts herself in front of the judges. She is going to be at the front of that stage come hell or high water. That's all there is to it. So that being said, she gets into it. Air guitar, and, all the moves. She is definitely kind of channeling James Brown. And then there's Mercedes. Mercedes is not a bad lip syncer. I want to make that abundantly clear. I don't think that she's a bad performer.
Correct.
But she's a certain caliber of performer.
Also correct.
I feel like she very much is kind of like this picture in a box. And like that's all there is. Like just what's in the box. The box does not change. The box does not modify, change, shape, grow. It's there. Like that. This is what we live within.
This is what we get.
So yeah, I don't know. Again,
So-
Miss Raja, air guitar, like wide stance. Again, to the front. Totally blocking Mercedes. Like, I guess cock blocking is a thing in lip sync. But, you know, like, I'm kind of like, Mercedes, you get what you get. Like, if you don't step forward, if you don't put yourself to the front, if you don't plant yourself on that far corner near the judges' table, like, then maybe you just won't be seen. In this case.
Exactly.
You know, even in this shot, Mercedes is kind of looking at Raja. Raja is ignoring her ass, house down, performing to the judges. Like, and this is after the whole, like, debacle with the feather headdress kind of thing sort of falling off that eventually, you know, she needs to toss it to the side. Yet again, more air guitar. Like, Raja is just living in the song and going through it. Mercedes, this is what I mean, like, by the box issue. She looks very pretty, and she's delivering pretty, but, like, okay, girl, like, I'm not sure.
This is definitely a far cry from her runway, or not her runway, but her lip sync from a couple of episodes ago. Where like she gave us life and was like owning that stage. This is definitely a far cry from that. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. Maybe she, well.
Eric says in the live chat, in my country, we have no this Brown James. Who is this you speak of? Mark says in the live chat, and Mercedes has no idea who he is, hence her performance. Perhaps these are facts, America. We do not know. This cracked me up. So Raja's arms up in the air, still performing for the judges. Mercedes like, hey, Queen, what you doing over there? Like, it's just so... It's so like, messy.
Okay, so let me just get my thoughts out here because I'm going to just like put it out there.
Yes,
I feel like I need to. I felt someone wasn't in it, is what I wrote down. And
I wonder who that is.
Mercedes. Like, honestly, like I'm sitting here looking at this. There's such a contrast between her runway to her Lip Sync for Your Life from 2 weeks ago to this one. There's no tricks. There's no whatever. She's just kind of there. She's looking at Raja like several times. She keeps like looking at her and like either she is being like smart and going, I'm not beating that. Like, no matter what I do, I'm not beating that. So I'm not even going to bother.
Right.
Which, okay, I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
I can respect that. Or she's so like out of it or not in it that she's like, Raja, what the hell are you doing? Like, I love this. Like, let me watch you. Let me give you $1. Like it just comes off that way. Like, just like this picture. And then there's a couple other ones, like when it just, it felt like she wasn't there. And I don't know what was going through her head. Obviously, we don't know what's going on, you know, mentally, whatever. But it feels like she, I don't want to say gave up. I just feel that she maybe knew there was absolutely nothing I was going to do in this moment to beat all of that.
I agree.
Because Raja was living this number.
Even
so
in
much
this,
so?
Right? her damn little pixie like cut her. You know, the bus driver wig fell off, girl. Like, it's gone. It's not even there. She backbends to the floor, comes back up, no hair. And I honestly believe it was completely a mistake. Like, was not intended. Which I'm sure everyone could give her grief and be like, "Girl, pin your hair on. Like, you know, put some fucking super glue or blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But she didn't expect it to come off, honestly. I think she was just like, oh, well, that's a thing. And part of it is this moment. Like, so she reaches up on top of her head and continues to do choreography while lip syncing. And yet there's Mercedes pointing right at Raja. Like, girl, your wig's behind you on the, on the runway.
I just very much, like, again, like, I just, like, like you should be performing. Like you should have just let that go by. Like
Right.
Mercedes should have been like, "Oh, this is my moment." She lost her hair. I could just like
Right.
jump into a turn and splits and land on the ground and splat or whatever,
Right.
and do something that would have caught their attention.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I'm like, "Woo, what happened to your hair?" Like, it just feels. Oh,
Yeah. It's a
it
problem.
just. Oh,
So
anyway,
this
sorry.
this gets to my comment, which was embody it no matter what. Despite Raja losing her hair, she just continues on, girl. She is performing the number. She's embodying James Brown. She don't give no fucks. The only thing she doesn't have is a crazy big ass cape on. Although the shoulder embellishment kind of
work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just looks really good. And I will own that I loved her performance of this song.
Mm-hmm.
She should put this in her repertoire.
Yes.
While it is a guy singing this song, it works. She fucking like nailed it for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, okay, like I bet like Mercedes was like, I can't touch that. So
yeah,
I know my time is done.
Well, and it's interesting because Mark says in the live chat she is out of her depth on this show and there is no more avoiding it, referring to Mercedes, like that she just, maybe she did recognize that, like, she just needed to do some, just not, try to win, because there was no chance that she was probably going to win in the lip sync. He also said, I think it's number 2 from Damon's statement. I don't think she is that strategic. I don't know. Like, maybe we'll discuss it in the post show. Anyways. So Raja finishes, she puts her wig back on because, back when we finally get to the judging and Ru's final decision, everybody's got to be back to the same piece they were before. So hair comes off, hair goes back on. Body parts come off, body parts go back on. Pieces of the outfit come off, they come back on. Like everybody's set back to one. So
the basic, yeah.
Mercedes Amon Diamond sachets away.
Yep.
Bye, girl.
How do I put this nicely? Actually, I will put it nicely. No, I won't. She was very lucky last week that she was a part of the winning team.
Mm-hmm.
If she had been an individual judged last week, she probably would have been gone last week.
Correct.
I'm just going to put that out there. Granted, even with all 6 of them, bombing the shit out of this number, there were some highlights from them that I think if they had, like I said, if they had done them individually,
right, like
maybe Akira wouldn't have been in the bottom and Mercedes would have joined her, like switch places with her,
right?
Because anyway. So again,
as Eric said, no loss this week's elimination.
Yeah, I agree. While I like her, and we as we've mentioned, she's the first Muslim queen on the show, as far as we know. I hate putting that out there, but that's something that I think needs to be said. We don't know sometimes because they don't mention it all that often. There could have potentially been another Muslim queen. BB could have been Muslim. I don't know. Like it's just something to think about before,
right?
But they have been saying it that she was the first. So maybe that's true.
Right. And maybe she succeeded in her mission because she said she wanted to be the first Muslim out Muslim drag queen on the show. So that has been served.
True.
Check your box, girl, on the way out the door. Just saying.
And I will say this again, or not again, but I will say this, like, I often wonder what's going on in her head. Like, so she leaves the show, so we get her untucked. She's, let go. Unlike most of the girls, she stays in face. She's got her boy drag on, but she's still got the wig on. She's still got her face on, and she's, packing away and whatever. And it felt weird to me. But again, maybe, unfortunately, and potentially, for her, as we've learned, she's never been really comfortable as her boy self. maybe this was her way of saying goodbye without crying or whatever, because she's in her character. Potentially. I don't know.
Maybe. Interesting theory.
But I'm not, like I said, I'm not surprised she's gone. I'm good with it. Like this was a welcome elimination.
Yeah. And there's as I'm looking at the cast of the remaining, there is 1, 2 or 3 people that I expect to be the next to go over the next couple of weeks. To me, it's kind of obvious as to who the front runners are, like in the upper deck, the upper half, I guess I'll say. So we'll see how that kind of plays itself out in the time to come. And then before we get into snaps and eye rolls, like yet again, I just want to pay tribute to the many faces of Miss Nina West, because she's adorable and she's always serving these looks. And there's a part of me that wonders how much she knows she's on camera. I've been listening to her podcast. I'm starting to think that she has no idea how like visual she is, like reactionary, and how she's constantly kind of serving up crazy looks and like facial expressions. And I'm like, yeah, girl, they have no problem like putting you like on the in front of the camera, because you are just like serving up some wild kind of crazy stuff. And to me, I was happy that she was Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I wasn't happy with it at first when they assigned it to her, because in a way I thought she could have been a better Rosie O'Donnell. But I think that she deserves some recognition for that.
So case. I will go back to that face real quick.
Oh,
just it's something that caught me off guard. Catching me off. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's just something that it's something I've been noticing about her face. She got a lot of forehead, y'all.
That she does.
It caught me off guard, and I've been noticing it like here and there, but like this one picture, I was just like, oh, her face is like right in the middle. Like, ooh. And I don't see it when she's in drag.
Well, notably, she probably lowers her hairline when she's wearing a wig. Girl.
Also true. No, I'm just saying, like I'm obviously, but like it's just those things that I don't like. It caught me off guard again this episode, because while she has this amazing, like she gives face, but not like face beauty face. She gives like face clown, like
right.
Whoo.
Crazy kooky kind of serving
kooky face. Yeah.
She's more a Gilda Radner, Rita Rudner, like very comedic. Like, I mean, notably, Nina West is a theater queen. Like, she's very theatrical. So I think that's part of where a lot of these mugs are coming from. That she's very expressive. And I'm okay with it. Like, she obviously loves to laugh. She has a memorable laugh, a notable laugh. Like, you can pick it out anywhere. I'm personally a fan of her and her natural hair. This is her natural hair color on her Instagram recently. Cause I just joined it during the show. That's in case you saw me looking down. That's what you caught me doing, was I was adding Nina on Instagram, and she's now blonde. And I'm like, girl, I did that back when I was younger in the 90s. Come on. Just saying, like, choices. So yeah, it's a thing in that case. So anyways, and Eric said in the live chat, could we please keep the many faces in Nina West for the rest of the season? Girl, I'm okay with it. She just needs to last the rest of the season. So, I think that's how that works.
True.
If she's in this episode, I'll probably snap pictures of her face like from that. Could we even start screen capping them on Insta if she gets eliminated before the finale? Oh, maybe. Nina is serving face in and out of drag all the time. Yes. No, I completely agree. All right, let's move on to last thoughts. In this case.
Cover down. Put the bass in your walk.
All right, so snaps and eye rolls, aka hits and misses, high points, low points. Damon, who you giving snaps
Okay.
to?
I am honestly giving some snaps to Mr. Giannis. Yes, Marshall. I was loving that. Not only was he like they were all like the gag gooped whatever when he like starts to giving them their choreography, and they're just like, and he was like, "You better step it up." Like I'm like, okay, like I love that he took he took so we find out in this episode that Evie has this disease where she's got like doesn't have all the collagen or whatever. She doesn't produce enough collagen, and so she's got all the extra skin, like loose skin, and her bones, her joints can come out of place. And he takes that, and we see like obviously the fall that was supposed to be like a harsh drop kind of thing is very much now a gentle down to the floor. We saw that, but he also puts to task some of those girls, Raja, that were all like, I've been doing that. I know how to dance. I've been whatever. Like, nope, nope. And I love that he said, like, I wish you hadn't told me that you did dance before, because you sure as hell ain't showing it now. And I was like, yep. Like, don't pull out that, like, I've been the dancer, and then, like, later say, oh, it was 15 years ago, because that ain't right. That ain't cute. That ain't nice. Like, you are faking some shit. Like, I don't know how long ago like Brooklyn was a ballet dancer, but it seems very clear that some of that training has stuck. So good for her.
I was impressed with Giannis that he called out the positions, the ballet positions, as Brooklyn was doing them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know this bitch, but this bitch doing the choreography at least knows ballet to call out the positions. Like, maybe she got it wrong. I don't know, because I'm ignorant that way, but it sounded right. So that impressed me. I was like, okay, girl, I hear you.
I was a big fan of Mr. Giannis and his like moment here. Like, kudos to him for doing that. Yeah. Gary.
My snaps are for the homance. Oh my god. I cannot believe that was coined, and no one's talking about it that way. Everyone's talking about the kai kai. I like it being called a homance. I am in love with this idea that they be in hoes somehow on the DL. More importantly, that New York Tiffany Pollard calls out and asks the question, you know, that was planted before the bitch walks in to, like, you know, the backstage untucked ation. I know the producers, somebody talked to her and was like, somehow in a conversation, you need to ask this question. And she's the perfect instigator for that kind of stuff. And I was highly amused by it and found it very interesting, the awkwardness of having Vanessa dragged over to sit next to Brooklyn, and like crickets. Like they like everything's chirping, nobody's saying anything.
Might as well have been looking at their phone. Like,
I was like, really? I was like, why are we being so coy about this? What's the big fucking deal? Like,
and that was my biggest. I agree. Like not like 5-10 minutes ago, you two were right over there, like kissing each other, and we saw that, right? Like there were like we got Nina's face look at it when it happened. I think we got Ariel's face. I think it was Ariel and Nina that saw it, and it was just like, but we're not going to say anything. We're not gonna follow through. We're not gonna, like, when it gets called out, when the receipt gets pulled, like, hey bitches, we saw you. We know what y'all been doing. Like, we're not gonna say anything. Like, okay, be that way.
Yeah, I mean, so it cracked. That was my snaps for the fact that it got coined a homance. I was like, okay.
Oh, like I said, they are living in closed quarters. They ain't got much to do. in their probably a little bit of downtime. I doubt they have some downtime, but
So according to Alaska on Race Chasers podcast, because I just listened to their most recent episode, which is not this, it's not the recap of Trump, the Rusical, it's of Diva Worship a week ago. So in listening to that one, even Alaska said that the crackdown on security is really severe these days. And they started years ago not allowing the queens to hang out together. Not even like when they're back at the hotel to both go out on a smoke break at the same time. Like they are literally sequestered all the time. So it is a rare opportunity that you see two queens together. So those smoke break segments that we happen to catch every now and then are really special because they don't have that much time. And so so Alaska kind of raises the question and says she wants to know more, but she's very intrigued by this concept because the question was asked, I think, by Big Dipper, their producer, who was in the background, and was like, do you think they're hooking up? Like, do you think there's some real kai going on that, Brooklyn and Vanjie are, like doing this thing? And it's funny because even like Mark says in the live chat, the old drag queen rule is sister dick will make you sick. That drag queens don't normally date. And I've heard that for many, many years. But I've also known successful drag couples. Like, So I don't think it's that far-fetched necessarily.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the Drag Race Entourage Telegram chat, and there's a wonderful picture of Mr. Brooklyn Heights' naked body.
Yeah.
Backside. Ooh. He do got a butt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling, as Mark is making reference into the live chat, that this is fodder for the reunion. Like, if Brooklyn and Vanjie were not a thing, are not a thing now, it'll be made a thing when it comes to the reunion. Guarantee it. Mama Ru will ask the question about that. All right, Damon, eye rolls.
So I've been talking about this all evening, and I kind of want to bring it up now. Mm-hmm. The Rosie segment of the Rusical. So Vanessa Vanjie is cast as Rosie O'Donnell. I have, that was not a good choice. First of all, no, those two don't really, it doesn't work. Right. And I hate what Vanjie chose to do with it. But on the flip of that, they didn't do Rosie any justice. I don't know who they picked to do her voice in this Rusical, moment. Right. But it does not sound like Rosie. It does not at all sound like Rosie. It doesn't feel like Rosie O'Donnell at all. None of it works for me. And I felt like that was a bad choice. A really bad choice. They cast it as Rosie O'Donnell, which we know that she's been pretty much outspoken about Mr. Trump, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So we know that's why she was put in there with Hillary and Stormy, because it's kind of like the antagonist or the, anti whatever. But oh my God, it was just a weird voice and a weird ass, it didn't work. It didn't say Rosie O'Donnell to me. It said right. I don't know who it said, but it just, I don't know if they maybe didn't have enough voices. Maybe the person that was going to do Rosie got sick or whatever. Something was going on when they recorded this, and we got this weird ass voice. And I blame whoever decided to produce this thing. So while Vanessa didn't give us a lot of Rosie, she didn't get a lot of Rosie. So how is she going to do whatever she's supposed to do with it when you don't even give her something to do with it? There was nothing about that voice that was Rosie O'Donnell to me at all.
Yeah.
So my eye rolls are for that.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with you. It was something that stood out to me as a sore thumb in the whole Rusical performance, that there was something wrong with the character to begin with, and then it did no justice to Vanessa trying to serve it with what she had to do. My eye rolls are for Scarlett's Envy. We're going to go back to that thing where I said in Untucked about how different irritates the traditional. Scarlett was just like serving all sorts of sand up her pussy, like about that she just wasn't liking, that being non-traditional was acceptable or whatever. And I was just kind of like, girl, you need to check yourself. Like, you best be careful, because if you stand out, that means you're getting noticed, as opposed to looking like everybody else, so to speak.
That right there. And I know she was probably a little hurt from last week with her falling into the bottom. And then this week, no offense, you look like a dude in a dress. Wasn't happy. We didn't like it. Did not like this outfit. Didn't like your makeup. Didn't like a lot of things you were doing. And it showed. And
yeah,
thank God you were safe.
Right. I mean, even like Mark said in the live chat earlier, the hem is a mess on that huge hoop. It should have bothered everyone. I'm surprised no judges made a comment about it, personally.
Yeah.
So, and that's the part that bothered me about her and Untucked, where she was like, I went to all this effort, I made this dress from scratch, and blah blah blah, and I even like put the fabric on the shoes to make it match. And I was like, girl, barking up the wrong tree. Nobody cares. Like,
nobody cares. No.
Yeah. So that would be Trump the Rusical. Hopefully it's a chapter in our history that we won't really have to repeat or revisit anytime in the near future. However, if you would like to discuss with us your thoughts and feelings, there's plenty of ways you could do that. You can go to cubsoutloud.com, our blog, and you could put a comment on there. You can even send us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Or, better yet, you could actually let us listen to the sultry tones of your own voice.
Give us a ring-a-ding.
You could call us at 361-265-8255, otherwise known as 361-COL Talk. That's TALK. On the social media, just type in Cubs Out Loud as one word. Instagram, I finally am back to figuring out how to fucking post on Instagram to get our album art out there for each episode. Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, obviously, if you're already watching us here live. Hey! If you're listening to the audio podcast and you're curious about some of the things that we're pointing out as far as imagery, you can go watch us over at YouTube. Although today's episode apparently is in 2 parts because it's all sorts of fuckery, thanks to my computer screwing up. If you want to join the Entourage social chat, where it's mostly pretty much just about Drag Race, but sometimes we get inappropriate on there, you can go to tinyurl.com/telegram, that's TELEGRAM-IK-COLDR. And if you want to support us for Cubs Out Loud, you could get yourself some merch at Zazzle.com/Cubs Out Loud. Like Damon is wearing the Consent Is My Foreplay Bear Pride hoodie in a lovely forest green. I happen to be wearing our version 3 logo and like, it's not quite a 3/4, it's more like a full, like, kind of sports style.
Ooh.
Oh, look, it's Damon in the hood. Imagine that. Sorry, can't resist. It's too easy. If you would like to be on the inside scoop of some things, you could join us over on Patreon and become a patron for as little as $1 a month. So if you go to patreon.com, that's patreon.com/cubsoutloud. You could end up joining us, and you could actually listen to the full show and hear like our 20-minute conversation last week about Mercedes and Mon Diamond, which I'm gonna circle back to here in a little bit because I got shit to say about that bitch. Just gonna say. You can also help promote us online. You can rate us on iTunes, subscribe on all the platforms, support us in that case, and there's a lot of these, RuPaul Drag Race recap type podcasts that are out there. Even a certain drag queen who, as a boy, has been on COL. I'm going to leave that as a mystery a little bit for now. Has started up their own podcast, so that'll be interesting. In the meantime, Damon, if they want to find out where you are to get in touch with you online, how would they do that?
Ooh. Sorry. If you wish to get in touch with me, and I know you want to, you can find me as Theater Cub 79 on most bear-related sites, our Facebook even, or you can find me as pup_Umbra on Twitter.
All right. If you would like to find me online, pretty much type in GareBear73. That's GARBEAR 73. And with that, we're going to head to the moon, everybody, because that's where we like to be.
To the moon, to the moon, to the moon.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Girl, you made it through the show.
I so did. Thank God. This fucking nose and shit is getting on my last nerve. Like, it's not funny. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. So thank everybody for like bearing with me as I like honk all my like vital organs out over here on the side.
And thanks for putting up with our unexpected technical difficulty that we had to start the stream again for the second time. That was kind of a pain.
That was fun. So
yes,
Mercedes.
All right, so